Most Amazon sellers today are obsessed with conversion rate optimization. Better A plus content, better bullets, better descriptions, better brand story. And do not get me wrong, conversion rate optimization absolutely matters. But here's the truth: gone are the days when CRO alone was enough to win on Amazon, right? If you really truly want to beat your competition, you need to focus on something else. You need to actually focus on CTR optimization. Now, CTR stands for click through rate, if you don't know that. And in my opinion, CTR optimization is the new CRO, right? Because on Amazon today, ads are the biggest growth lever. We all know that, and organic ranking still matters. But your organic ranking, your listing quality, everything still matters. But most brands are scaling today through ads plus retail excellence combined, right? Now, when you run ads, your job becomes very simple. Your job is to get as many relevant clicks that you can possibly, and at the cheapest possible CPC, right? Now, this is exactly where CTR becomes extremely important, because CTR directly impacts your CPCs. And if your CTR is actually better than your competition for the same keyword, for the same product, similar product, Amazon algorithm rewards you, and that directly adds to the bottom line or the profits that you really make on Amazon. You start getting cheaper clicks, your ads become more efficient, your ACOS improves, your tacos improves, and ultimately the margins, right? And your product starts winning more visibility. So the conversation should not just be about, say, conversion rate optimization anymore. The conversion rate should be about the click optimization that you do on Amazon, because if nobody clicks on your products, you don't even get to the stage of conversions, right? Conversions don't even really matter if people are not clicking on your product. So the question becomes, what actually impacts your CTR on Amazon? Now, when a customer actually searches anything on Amazon, they see a very limited set of information. They don't actually see your bullet points, your A plus, your description. All of that is after the click actually happens. They only see a few things, and those few things determine whether they're gonna click on your product or not. And by the way, when I say Amazon reads your product better and gives you cheaper CPCs if more people click on your product, which means higher CTR. Why is that? Because algorithm thinks that if customer is clicking on a product by searching this keyword, that simply means the product is super relevant, and it's even more relevant than the competition, because customer chose not to click on your competition but your product, right? So that's why it's really important. Now, five major factors that actually impact your CTR, we're going to break them down in this video. So yeah, let's go ahead with that. So first is, I think, the most important thing in your CTR improvement, and that is your main image. If your main image is not that great, if you're not able to explain your product really well, you have to take it as your billboard, right? That's the first impression that you create in customers' mind. And your first image has to be scroll stopping, right? If your image is boring, cluttered, or looks very generic, just like any other product in the category, you're already losing that click, right? The goal with the main image is create some visual differentiation, right? You want someone scrolling so fast to actually pause for a second and look at your product, and you want that pause to get converted into a click. Just think of what exactly you need to do in your first image. So for example, if now you cannot really do much, because there are Amazon policies, by the way. So it has to be a white background image, and 80% of the image, 70% of the image should be covered by the product, right? But then I'll probably put some comparisons here in this. I'll ask my video editor to actually do that, and you will be able to clearly see the differentiation when I say you need to improve your first image, what exactly improvement really means, right? Do a few hygiene things as well before you actually get into doing a lot of creativity in your first image. Obviously, use better lighting, better angles, better cropping of the image, use better contrast, which showcases the product really, really well, or the best representation of your product. Sometimes even the way the product is positioned, because I used to work with a bags brand, and what I noticed that their photo shoot was this angle, right? If this is the bag, this was the angle of the product. We just changed from this to this, right? And their CTR improved, because that was actually showcasing all three dimensions of the bag, and it's really important for buyers to actually see how the bag would look like, and what are the three dimensions that a bag has. Now, obviously, if you understand the importance of first image, let's get on to the second factor, which is pricing. Now, pricing doesn't just affects conversions, right? Pricing affects your overall click behavior as well. When customers are actually comparing multiple products in search results, they quickly scan price and the perceived value of the product. If your product looks too expensive compared to competition, people might not even click. If your product looks too cheap in your first image and your pricing is not reflecting that, then it also hurts the perception, right? So pricing needs to sit in a competitive range for the category while maintaining your brand value as well. You don't really need to have like very, very cheap pricing also, but be very competitive. Also understand which keywords your product ranks on, and what is the average price of the search results, first page of search results, right? Basis that you can understand the placement that you're winning, the visibility that you're winning, be it organic or ads. Will you be able to compete against people who are also winning the same placement? So, for example, I am being ranked on backpack for men, and the average selling price for the search results of the first page is $299 or 2,999 rupees, right? Whatever, right? And my pricing has to be somewhere near that average, right? If my pricing is like 5,999 or say $599 against $299, I might not be able to even sustain that placement, right? There's no point of getting that visibility because people are not going to click on my product and then they are not going to buy my product as well, right? So you have to understand where exactly you are showcasing your product, because your product placement is like very, very important. But yeah, anyway, coming back to the point, so pricing matters. Then you can also use certain tactics like coupons, limited time deals, deal of the day, and so on and so forth. These can dramatically increase your CTR because they visually stand out in the search results. When a customer actually sees a green color coupon badge or red color deal of the day tag, their brain immediately registers a deal. And in fact, tags like Amazon Choice, bestseller, all these can dramatically improve your CTR as well. So yeah, I mean, pricing is a factor, but again, these tags are also a factor. Now, third factor that you typically can control and should improve is your title. Many sellers actually see the title as a keyword dumping ground, but remember this thing that your title is visible in search results and it should be written for both algorithms and humans, not just for the algorithms. So don't try and stuff all keywords there, right? If the first few words are clearly communicating the value that you can offer in your product, what the product is, what problem it solves, what makes this product different, you can actually increase the chances of someone clicking on your product as well. Now, customers often only read the first 4 to 5 words in your title. So the beginning of your title really matters the most, then rest of the title, right? So fourth factor is your ratings, obviously. Now I'm not talking about reviews, what you have written in it, because that impacts conversions, yes. But for CTR, what matters is my product 4-star out of 5 or 4.5 star out of 5? Even 3.9 versus 4-star is a big difference. You might think that may not impact that much because it's like 0.1 difference, but then it really impacts a lot. And same is the case if your product is like 4-star versus 4.2 star or 4.1 star. Even that 0.1 extra rating actually matters a lot, right? So question is, how many stars do you have and how many ratings do you actually need to get to a better rating? That's the question that you should be asking for all your top products. Impact: if two products appear actually similar, one is 4.4 star and one is 4.2 star, I might obviously go ahead and click 4.4 star and then probably go ahead and look at other things. But that is what impacts if I'm going to click on that product or not. That's why the reviews generation or getting more reviews and getting a great customer experience is really, really important. And that indirectly impacts CTR optimization strategies as well, because as I said, better ratings meaning better CTR, more clicks, then ultimately better CPCs, and so on and so forth. Now, fifth factor is shipping speed. Amazon now prominently shows delivery time in search results, and customers often look for getting delivered tomorrow, getting delivered in a day, or 2 days maximum. Even 2 days is like too high time now, because people actually expect next day or same day delivery now. That's the market expectation now. If some of your products actually still ship in a week, trust me, nobody's going to click on them. You're going to get very, very high CPCs, and God will help you in your conversions. So faster shipping can actually significantly improve CTR. So do FBA, do better inventory planning, make sure that your stock is available locally in all warehouses. All these directly influence CTR. Now, here's the interesting part. Most factors that improve CTR also improve conversions. As I said, better images, better ratings, better pricing, better shipping, better titles. All of that directly impacts conversion as well. So when you actually optimize for CTR, conversion optimization becomes a natural outcome. You don't really need to do conversion optimization separately, because the same efforts will lead to conversion optimization as well. But the reverse might not always be true, right? So if you only focus on conversion optimization, conversion rate optimization, it might not necessarily improve your CPC, but improving CTR will actually impact your CPCs as well, and conversions also. So that's the key difference. The better the CTR, better auction performance, cheaper clicks, right? So if I had to summarize this video or this entire framework in one sentence, don't just optimize for listings, try optimize for the clicks. Try optimizing for better CTRs. Optimizing your listing can win the first click, because on Amazon today, the cheapest click actually wins, because everybody is fighting, everybody is doing a bidding war, right? If you are able to find out how to get the same audience, relevant audience as at cheaper clicks, you actually win. That's the key differentiation between brands that are winning versus brands that struggle. Now, the brand that actually consistently gets better CTR, you will own the category, right? If you are running Amazon ads today, go check your campaigns and probably ask yourself one question: are my products getting clicked enough? And you can also actually find a correlation in your Amazon ads also. The campaigns that are giving you better CTRs, those campaigns will give you better CPCs on the same product, same keyword, right? So yeah, I mean, if your products are not actually getting clicked enough, you don't really need to blame the bids or do a bidding war with your competition. Don't immediately blame the keywords that you have put in. Go ahead, check your CTR fundamentals. Again, check your main image, pricing, title, ratings, your shipping speed. If these five things are fixed, you will be surprised how much ad performance can actually improve. Now, yeah, I mean, with that said, I think I'm gonna end this video. And if you learned something new in this video, if any concept that you learned helped you in your Amazon journey, or any video for that matter on this channel has helped you, go ahead, subscribe to the channel so that we can keep on creating more content like this. With that said, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Take care.